The air hung heavy, thick with the musk of old wood and forgotten things. 4 teenagers huddled around a flickering candle, their curiosity tinged with nervous excitement. The Ouija board lay on the dusty floor, its planchette gleaming faintly in the dim light. They treated it as a game, unaware that true terror lay in wait. Their fingers lightly touched the planchette. "Is anyone there?" they whispered, their voices echoing in the cavernous basement. The planchette shuddered, moving with a life of its own, stopping at "yes." Nervous laughter rippled through the group. The planchette danced across the board, answering their questions with eerie accuracy. As the night wore on, the questions grew bolder, delving into the unknown. The air grew colder, the candle flame sputtered, casting grotesque shadows. The planchette began to move erratically, whirling across the board. Suddenly the basement door slammed shut with a deafening boom. The candle extinguished, plunging them into darkness. Panic seized them. They were trapped, alone with something they couldn't comprehend. Terror filled the darkness. The teenagers scrambled to their feet, groping blindly for the light switch. The switch clicked, but the light remained off. Then, they heard it. A whisper, soft and insidious, slithering through the darkness. It spoke their names, each syllable laced with icy malice. Frozen with fear, the teenagers huddled together. The whispers grew louder, morphing into guttural growls. The doorknob was ice cold, as if gripped by an unseen hand. It wouldn't budge. They were trapped, at the mercy of whatever lurked in the darkness. Days turned into sleepless nights. The teenagers carried the terror with them, like a chilling weight on their souls. The basement door remained locked, a silent testament to the horror they had unleashed. The whispers followed them, echoing in the dead of night. Objects moved inexplicably, lights flickered, and disembodied footsteps echoed. Cold spots appeared in the house, sending shivers down their spines. Each night brought new horrors, each one more terrifying than the last. Nightmares plagued them, blurring the lines between reality and the supernatural. They would wake up in cold sweat, feeling unseen eyes watching them. Their youthful energy drained away, replaced by bone-deep exhaustion. The once vibrant teenagers were now shadows of their former selves. They were alone, trapped in a nightmare of their own making. The paranormal activity escalated. The entity grew bolder, its attacks more brazen. One evening, as the family gathered for dinner, the lights flickered violently. The air grew thick with the stench of sulfur. Suddenly, the dining table flipped over with a deafening crash. Screams filled the air as the family scrambled for safety. The entity was no longer hiding, it was making its presence known. The family huddled together, their faces pale with fear. Their home had become a battleground. The entity seemed to feed off their fear, growing stronger. They were prisoners in their own home, desperate and hopeless. The Bracamonte family sought solace in their faith. They prayed for deliverance, but it seemed their prayers fell on deaf ears. The entity reveled in their despair, growing stronger with each plea. Arguments erupted, fueled by the underlying terror. The teenagers were now withdrawn and distant, their youthful exuberance replaced by sadness. They blamed themselves for the terror that had engulfed their family. Their parents, once a source of strength, seemed powerless. They tried to maintain normalcy, but the fear was always there. The family was trapped in a downward spiral, their lives unraveling. The haunting had taken a toll on them all. One night, amidst the chaos, a chilling discovery was made. Young Emily stumbled upon a strange symbol etched into the basement floor. It was a crudely drawn figure resembling a twisted demonic face. The symbol radiated an aura of palpable evil. Emily informed her family of her discovery. The news was met with dread and a strange sense of validation. The symbol was a tangible manifestation of the evil that had invaded their home. The family gathered around the symbol, their faces illuminated by a flashlight. The symbol seemed to pulsate with an evil energy. They knew they had stumbled upon something ancient and evil. Desperate for answers, the family reached out for help. They consulted priests, paranormal investigators, anyone who might offer hope. Each expert grew more apprehensive, their initial skepticism giving way to unease. The priests performed blessings, but the malevolent presence remained. The paranormal investigators documented the escalating activity, their faces grim. The family was caught in a whirlwind of conflicting advice. They were no closer to understanding the entity or finding a way to break free. The weight of their situation pressed down on them, threatening to crush their spirits. One moonless night, a decision was made. They would confront the entity. Armed with their faith, they gathered in the basement. They stood before the symbol, its gaze mocking their bravery. The father, his voice trembling, addressed the entity, demanding to know its purpose. The basement remained silent, the entity refusing to be provoked. They prayed, their voices echoing through the darkness. The air grew colder, the stench of sulfur intensified. Suddenly the basement was plunged into darkness. Then, a voice, cold and filled with malice, echoed through the darkness. The entity's voice, a guttural rasp, sent shivers down their spines. It spoke of ancient pacts, forgotten rituals, and a darkness that lay dormant. The entity revealed its name, a string of ancient syllables imbued with unspeakable power. The name hung in the air, sending a wave of terror through the family. The entity spoke of its plans for them, promising pain and suffering. The family listened in horrified silence, their minds reeling. The entity's laughter, cold and mocking, echoed through the basement. Panic surged through the family as the entity's words sank in. They had made a terrible mistake, one that threatened to shatter their lives. The basement now felt alien and hostile. They stumbled back from the symbol, searching for an escape that didn't exist. The entity's laughter followed them, taunting their helplessness. They fled the basement, but the entity's presence followed them. Their home now felt like a prison, every room imbued with dread. The family's ordeal became a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurk beyond our reality. The Ouija board, once a source of amusement, now stood as a symbol of their folly. They had sought answers in the darkness and found something far more terrifying. The experience left an indelible mark on their souls. The Ouija board was destroyed, but the symbol remained, a constant reminder of the darkness. They had learned a valuable lesson, one that came at a terrible price. The world was a far stranger and more terrifying place than they had ever imagined. Some doors, once opened, could never be truly closed.